Hello, my name's Killian Doherty. I'm an architect from Ireland, living and working and teaching in Rwanda. I'm interested in fragmented communities that lie at religious, ethnic and racial conflict, thresholds of conflict, and how architecture and urban design can counter this. Shakespeare felt that we can cheat time and death by leaving behind art and progeny. I like to believe that I've left behind my artistic legacy through the design of a community centre in Rwanda, funded by FIFA, the sporting multinational based in Switzerland. However, I felt less that I've cheated time, but more that I've been trapped between Rwanda and Switzerland's different concept of what time is and the expectations of what it is we've been leaving behind. There exists a huge gap in the expectation between the developed and the developing world, particularly with humanitarian work and corporate social responsibility programs such as this, where public relations is often prioritized over the actual effectiveness of the program. This was certainly my experience working in Rwanda on this community centre. The community centre that I designed was designed for a local football team who deal with conflict resolution following the 1994 Rwandan genocide. So Switzerland and Rwanda are 1 hour apart, yet expectations and results are worlds apart. For FIFA, this may sound cynical, but it was part of a larger PR exercise to justify its earnings in South Africa in the 2010 World Cup. For the Rwandese, it was a community centre in an overcrowded informal settlement. So Switzerland, as we all know, is a very rich country. It ranks high in the quality of life indices. Switzerland likes clocks and therefore likes to impose a very rigid program. During the colonization of Africa by Europeans in the late 19th century, Europeans tried to instill forms of social control and order. Clock towers were the first built structures in African settlements by Europeans. But time is elusive, enigmatic, elastic in Rwanda. Rwandese have a hard time grasping what program is. Needs are predicated on a hand-to-mouth basis. I am hungry, I need to eat now. Everyday interactions and tasks are carried out within this mindset. Us in the Western world, perhaps dating back to the industrial age, have compartmentalized time into segments, minutes, hours, days, and therefore we tend to plan ahead. I will be hungry later. I must ensure there is food to eat. These are very different concepts of time, and this manifests very differently on the ground. That's not to say the Rwandese don't understand program. Our project was finished on time, but due to logistics with the landscaping and getting containers from Kenya to Rwanda, a landlocked country, the Cuckoo clock has called and FIFA have cut the funding. But yet, we're following up with the 2014 Brazilian World Cup. FIFA remain very concerned about their branding in an area where people live on less than $1 a day, and we've no access to clean drinking water. So this is more or less a declaration of their self-interests. Corporate ventures dressed up as altruistic endeavours are nothing new, but they remain unchallenged and unquestioned. FIFA invested 80 million US dollars in the South African World Cup and came away with 3.2 billion US dollars tax-free. So that's where the purpose of sustainable design becomes more of a significance and more of an importance as an architect, to be able to stretch that budget out and bind the community centre with the community that's serving. 80% of disease in Rwanda is waterborne. The centre that we've designed harnesses all the rainwater, providing 1,000 people with fresh drinking water a year. It was really important that the building was rooted in its context and that it did not appear to be part of a larger franchise. Local contractor using local materials and local crafts was used to construct the centre, giving employment, training and skills to the community. But this is not just about sustainable design. I mean, this is all rather hackneyed and trite conversation, but more an attitude about what sustainability is. The Age of Enlightenment in 18th century Europe was this period of social reform in which church and state were questioned as being prohibitive to the development of society. I feel that we're going through another period of enlightenment following the financial meltdown in 2008, in which we're living out the consequences of, let's say, multinational and governments and the misspending of our money. So it's within this age of re-enlightenment that I think that we have to like really question this concept of sustainability. As Zizek says, we can't be impotent observers. It's the hope that, you know, with that we will be able to leverage those multinationals and NGOs to synchronize their clocks in a more sustainable way, and that by protecting the interests of the disadvantaged, those who are targeted by corporate social responsibility programs, that will be able to leverage more meaningful, more sustainable responses for those living in poverty in cities and communities across the globe. Thank you.